What's up, beautiful people? Today we are going to be discussing what makes our relationship strong. No, but welcome to Impactful Living.
Where we're here to impact the masses, right? It's all about impacting the masses, guys. Let us know where you're chiming in from. Let us know the city. Hope y'all having a beautiful Saturday. Today's kind of gloomy, but we're gonna make the best of it. Our son has a football game as well, so today's a little bit hectic.
Yes, so basically we're just going to jump right into it. We want to talk about what makes a marriage strong. So we're going to be talking about it from our perspective, right?
Now, hold on now. Before we even jump into that, what makes us qualified to even talk about relationship?
Okay, well, we've been together 15 years.
Okay, cool.
Right?
So,
And we're about to celebrate 10 years of marriage come next, April? April.
okay. So
So
that
we're a little qualified
okay
with 2 kids.
because some people will jump on and be like, "Yo, all right, let's talk about relationship or whatnot," but they might be in a relationship for 2 years. They haven't seen any struggles, been through anything, like crazy, right? They're still in that honeymoon phase. So with that, we're gonna come on and be like, "All right," and we want other people' perspective as well. So while y'all tuning in, let us know where you're tuning
Natasha
in from.
is from Tequila.
And also, if y'all have any questions, just drop them in, and we're gonna be answering them as well as we go.
So welcome. Thanks, Natasha. Thank you for joining in today. Like he said, as you guys come in, just comment here and let us know.
And we got people coming in from Instagram as well. So what's up, Instagram? So we got people all over, right? We got people on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook groups. So
yes. So let's start off with commitment, right?
Oh, Lord.
So commitment to me is just an unwavering partnership, meaning to the end. Right?
Okay.
And I just feel like it's for better or for worse, no matter what. And I could speak on that personally because my husband was there as I battled through my illness, well, damn near on my deathbed, and he never left my side, right?
So that C word is like when some people hear
commitment.
Yeah, especially the single people, right? They start sweating. You see how I did on my chair, like, oh Lord,
Yeah, because you used to be one of those people back in the day.
And there's a lot of people that are like that right now.
There are.
Right.
Who are afraid of it.
There's a lot of people out there that are single that they may be successful and they say, listen, commitment is gonna be kind of hard for me. So when it comes to commitment, people sometimes get scared of being committed to a relationship, but
let's be honest though, right? I was scared because I'm like, wow, this is the last everything. I was young. When we got
the last what would that mean?
Listen, we all grown in here. Y'all know what I mean. The last fuck in here. That's what it is. The last person you're supposed to be with. The last. I know people are probably busting out laughing. Hey, I'm Dada from Grenada. Woo woo. We have people from the U.S., the islands. Everybody tuning in. I love it. So today, again, this is supposed to be not too spicy, but it's supposed to just keep it real on relationships.
Absolutely. So, all right. So when I heard, well, it's not heard, but commitment, boy, that was tough. That was tough, especially when we met in college.
We were in college, right? You could date anyone.
We were dating people.
It was a free ground.
It was a time to experiment and have fun, right?
Correct. I would say that.
But at the same time, it's like,
fun.
At what point?
Exactly.
At what point you say, all right, I want to be committed to this person or to this one person, right? Because at the same time, it's like people are committed to all different type of things, right?
Okay.
They're committed to their jobs. They're committed to, what they want in life or out of life. They're committed. They're toning on that. But the thing is, on relationship, I feel like you have to treat anything like a relationship. Right. And some people treat their career as a relationship. They're committed to that. But when they hear about relationship with somebody else, they get sweaty palms.
But I feel like it's a beautiful thing, but it's got to be done right.
With the right person.
With the right person. You can't just say I do to anybody. Like they got to have qualifications. They got to meet up to that standard.
So what did I meet up to at that time?
Well, my boo, he had potential, okay? right? I said, okay, he's going to school for electrical engineer. He has his head on his shoulder. He's good looking and all of the other, other qualifications. But it was more than that. I was looking for somebody that I could personally grow with. I wanted a man, and everybody could attest to this that know me. I wanted a man that did not have nothing. I wanted a man that we can grow with, right? I didn't want to come into your world. I wanted us to build a world of our own. And that's exactly what we did.
Yeah, yeah. When I looked at it, I'm like, man, this girl have something going on here. I saw some potential too, right?
Potential.
I saw somebody that I could grow with. And at that time, I'm like, all right, maybe this is a person, because at some point, you have to say, all right, which one is the right one for me? Which one rocks with me the most, right? And my mom did a test.
Oh,
my mom
Lord.
was like, my mom was
Listen,
was my
the moms, y'all, they will get you.
My mom was the one that was like, all right, you know what?
Let's test her commitment.
Let's test who's gonna be the one that's gonna rock with you, the one that's gonna be down with you the most, right? And at the time,
y'all set me up.
At the time, I was moving in my apartment, and I did not buy a bed, right? I had the bed frame, I had everything set up, but I didn't have no mattress. And my mom said, listen, before you go out and buy a mattress, make sure that anybody that you're messing with, right? You're gonna know.
Oh, so there was a couple of people you was messing with. Is that what he's trying to say on national, like Facebook, Instagram? Everybody live today, guys.
So she's like, yo, let's see who's gonna rock with you. Meaning that who will sleep on the floor with you? Who would, if a woman will sleep on the floor with you with no mattress, they're gonna be down with you, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. And
you invited me over.
I invited her over. No, and she initiated, right?
I did.
So
I'm give like, me credit.
Oh shit! I didn't even have to ask her. She's the one that laid down the whole comforter. I'm like, okay. So she passed the mom test, right? So at that point, I know that it was something special with her, and I'm like, yo, I could rock with this one.
Okay.
I could rock with this one.
So that's when I passed your test.
That was one of the tests.
One. How many? Damn.
I mean, there's always tests. I mean, as we go, right? Yes. We're gonna have to have certain things that we look at. It can't be just, all right, she sleep on the floor with me, so that was it, right? You gotta have some kind of drive. And for me, I was looking for somebody with some kind of drive, potential, that want the best for themselves, that want a better version of themselves. They have goals. They're goal orientated, but also can put some fire under me as well to make me become a better version of myself.
Yeah, you guys, at my graduation, he got up and he gave a speech. It was the most beautiful speech ever. I'll never forget it. And he was telling the whole family how I motivate and I inspire him. Yes, I'm that girl. Yep. As you guys can see.
Like yesterday, 15 years ago.
I'm that girl.
Like yesterday, 15 years ago, right?
Yes.
Yeah, well... Yeah.
No, but what else you would say makes a strong relationship? So yes, we have commitment, right? You know that you're going to be there through thick and thin. You're going to support each other no matter what. No jobs. You get what I'm saying? There was a time where we both had Armani? Mm-hmm. We had a newborn baby. No job. That can cause stress in a relationship, right?
Oh, it did cause stress.
Yes, but we made it through. Right? We made it through. So we were committed to our relationship at that time. And then obviously committed to our marriage. We never wavered from that. I never said like, you know what? I don't know if he's the right one. I knew he was the right one.
So I'll say this. You can't have there can't be a great relationship without conflict, right? Because
let us know what you guys are thinking. Comment below.
Your relationship won't grow without any conflict. If you're with somebody and the only thing they're doing is yes man, yes, then you have a yes man or a yes woman, right? And there's not going to be any growth there. There's not going to be any criticism there. There's not going to be anything that they could say, yo, you know what? I think you'll be better at this, or give their honest opinion, because they're always going to agree with you.
Who's your harshest critic?
Now, you are. And who are you? Who's your harshest?
Oh, he is. I mean, he hurt my feelings, you guys.
I don't care.
Hurt my
I don't care,
feelings.
right? But the thing that you have to realize is when you're with someone, if they're always, yes, you should always want to please that person no matter what, but you have to be real with them. And if you're not being real with them and you're always being yes, yes, and you're always doing that, then what's going to happen is it seems like you're working so hard to make that person happy that eventually you're going to hurt yourself and feel like, yo, you know what? I'm working my ass off making this person happy, but truly I'm not happy because they're not doing the same for me. You might not get the same thing back, the same energy back. So you have to be careful of the person that you choose. Regardless, you want that person to be happy, but you want that person to be you want to be real with that person, or that person to be real with you.
Exactly. So that was another one. So that's all about like commitment, right? Like what other things you would say makes our marriage strong?
I mean, I'll say respect. Um, we have to respect each other in a sense that we respect um, without, you don't have to agree all the time.
I completely agree. Listen,
right?
We respect each other, but trust me, I'm a Libra. He's a Sagittarius, okay? We don't always agree on certain things. And honestly, our biggest disagreements usually come from our children because we were raised differently.
A lot of times it's from the kids. So
it's never about money or anything. Like, it's always the kids.
So when it comes
comment
to
below and let me guys look. Somebody did say something, and I definitely want to see what she have to say. She said, "This might be a lot for me to pop on the screen. Hold on, let's see if it could come through. I'm gonna have to make it a little bit smaller." So Julia definitely came in. You want someone you can grow with. Over time, both of you will change. Kids will change you. Financial struggles can change you. Illnesses can change you. But knowing you have someone who is willing to grow with you will make the tough times worth the difference. Let me give it a clap. Let me give it a clap for that one.
Right? So it's real. It's real shit though. It's real. Like, you have to have somebody that, because I'm gonna tell y'all this, right? Yo.
Good one, Julia.
Yo. The marriage is gonna be amazing, right? The beginning parts of any relationship is amazing. Oh my God, I met the man of my life, or oh my God, I met the woman of my dreams, right? You talking to it about your boys all the time. Yo, I met the right one. I met the right one. Boy, I remember them relationships with my boy. I'd be like, yo, bro, this damn Steve Harvey, this damn Steve Harvey, But there's certain things that I watch when I was dealing with her, right? And I loved about her.
No cookie, no nookie.
So the reason why I mentioned Steve Harvey, because he came out with a book at that time. What was the book?
Think like a man or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, and every man hate that damn book at the time, right? Because it's giving away all the game and all that shit. But at the same time, we're talking about respect, right? But the thing is, everybody's happy within a relationship. The first part of the relationship, you're always talking. You're on the phone all the time, even though we still on the phone all the time.
Maybe like that.
We work together. We still on the phone, but yeah. So the relationship is fantastic in the beginning, but what's gonna happen is you're gonna start learning certain things about the person, right? Things you may not like, things you may not see. The thing is, you may love the person because you don't live with them, and once you move in with them, you'd be like, holy shit, I didn't know that this person was like that. Oh my God, they keep their place like this all the time. When you might be a clean person, the other person might not be as clean. There's all kind of differences, right? And then that's without the kids yet. Now, once the kids come in play, that's a whole different shit happening right there, because you may be raised different from the other person, right? People in New York maybe say they're different from people in the South, how they're raised, right? People in the islands are definitely different from Americans.
Definitely different. Mind you, I grew up in a Caribbean household, but this is a true blood Jamaican, okay?
I'm going to repeat that shit. So the people that are born in the islands and grew up in the islands are going to be way fucking different from the people that are in America. They're gonna have certain way that they grew up, that they live, that what's in their heads that they go by. So there's gonna be some kind of conflict. The thing is, you have to learn when to agree and when to disagree and when to walk away.
Correct.
Right?
Not everything is a battle. Everything should not have to have a fight.
Right. So, but the thing is, the respect part of it is, for one, we always respect each other's point of view. Sometimes we might not agree with it,
Yeah.
but one thing I will say is I will never call her out of her name, right? And I'm always a big person on that, because once you start calling the person out their name, meaning that you're calling them
A B,
a bitch, or you're calling them a hoe, or you're calling them some nasty name, then the respect
is
level
gone.
is gonna be decreasing, right? And you don't want to do that, right?
Yep.
Because that's the person that you're living with, especially when you're out in public. You don't want to disrespect that person.
Because that means anybody could come up and disrespect your wife or your husband, and what we not gonna do
right,
is disrespect.
because the thing is this:
Yes,
if you're around your homies and you're calling your girl a bitch, then they're gonna be like, "Yo, damn, that bitch." So
you're
they're gonna
feel
start,
like you're entitled to
they're
talk
gonna
to
start calling your woman
that
a
word.
bitch as well. Well, that's
Let's be
not
nice. Let's say the B word.
That's not. We're grown, so that's not gonna happen, right? That is not gonna happen. I will not allow a man or a woman to call my wife out her name, right? We're gonna stop having a conversation. I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna be the bigger person. Be like, yo, you're not gonna call my wife out her name, because I don't do it.
Yep.
Right. So when you have that level of respect, right, then you will always try to find an even ground, or say, yo, you know what? Let me walk away from this. I'm getting angry. So, or you're not agreeing right away. So might as well we just cool off, because every time when you have an argument or something, and you're gonna have arguments.
Yes.
But the thing is, you might not agree at the moment, and if two people are heated, there's
nothing good is going to come from that. So like for us, we have a rule, right? And it just helps us keep that respect factor as well. We give each other our space, right? So we have a 24-hour rule. You could go be mad all you want.
Yo, I'll not say shit.
All you want. But in 24 hours, we will come back and we will discuss this, because if you let things fester, it's gonna get worse, guys.
Who's bad? Who's more bad at that? Me or you? Like what?
No, you're bad. Let's just be honest. He's bad. I'm. You see, the thing is, we are both alpha personalities, right? I'm a very dominant, He's dominant too, but he's more soft with his. But I'm very the fact of the tone, right? Like that's what New Yorkers are like. They're very loud and aggressive, and it's just in my nature to be that type of person. Don't take offense, but just listen. Y'all hear this, Jamaican? Anyways, we got a comment. Let's take a moment and let's adjust the comment here. So we have Natasha that says, "I want someone you are friends with first." Absolutely. I completely agree with you on that one. My husband is my best friend. We've been together 30 years and married 15. Go ahead, girl. You want someone who sees in what you don't see in yourself. Trust, respect, loyalty, commitment, and most of all, communication builds a strong, lasting relationship. Absolutely agree with everything that Natasha just hit on. I completely agree, especially that communication factor. You have to be able to articulate yourself in a way that you can get your point across without being disrespectful. You got to be able to talk things through. I feel like a marriage really sets you up for success in life in general. Like, I feel like that is our biggest, that's what works for us, is communicating. Like, George and I talk about everything. Everything.
Holy shit, everything.
Okay? Like, he's also my best friend. Yeah, I got my girl best friends, but this is my right hand.
She used to be can I say jealous?
Jealous of what?
Yeah, so you used to be jealous.
What?
So, because she used to be like, yo, because at first, I got my boy, and like, yo, we talk about everything, and there's when growing up in the islands, I'm very particular in what I talk about, with who I talk about it. And you have that one person that you always talk about anything. Like, yo, you going through any kind of struggles, you're always there, and then it's like moments there'll be a little jealousy because I'll say something to him, and she'll be like, "Whoa,
Will.
hold on, he knew before
For
me."
me?
I'm like, I'm like, yo, but you know that happens, right? When you have a best friend outside of your marriage, right? And you're gonna have that best friend before the woman or your soulmate that you meet. The thing for me is I didn't consider her my best friend at the time, and the relationship wasn't amazing. It wasn't as good.
We're talking
as
about
it
in the
could be,
dating phases, and
right?
I'm gonna chime on that.
And then afterwards, once I chimed in and be like, "Yo, damn, this girl is my best friend," then
Yeah, give me a
the
kiss for that one.
uh,
Yeah,
then everything is like it changed,
it
right?
did. It
It
did.
changed. So now the appreciation factor was there, right? So now when I go to her and I mention something, she'd be like, "Did you just say that to me? Like, did you really just share that with me?" I'm like, yeah, I just did, and yeah.
Listen, it was hard for him, right? And so, and I'm going to speak on this because we were young, we were in college and things of that nature. And when he decided to put a ring on it, I said, we have to go to marriage counseling, right? It's not to say that our relationship was any kind of way. I just felt like it was very healthy because I felt like before I get into a marriage, I want us to kind of talk about certain things because he was also very private and he didn't really talk too much. And I'm like, for us to have a successful marriage, like we need to be able to tell it all and kind of understand each other's backgrounds. So again, even though I grew up in a Caribbean household, it still was completely different, right? Marrying an actual full-blooded Jamaican, right? And so we went to marriage counseling, and I honestly think that was the best thing we could have ever did. So I always recommend if you are not married, you are single, before you say I do, to go into that. Because at that time, I was able, having a third party, and this was somebody in the church because I personally wanted somebody that was in church because we're spiritual people. And he sat down and he kind of dig through to figure out why George was such a private person. And that's what I wanted from him. And that was something that was missing. I wanted you are my best friend, but I wanted to also be your best friend. I wanted to be that person that you come to for every single thing. And I felt like that little piece was missing a little bit until we went to marriage counseling. So we went to marriage counseling, and to come find out, a lot of that stemmed from your household, the way you grew up, the way he grew up in his household. And that was, it took time. We worked that out and it worked out. But also, when you do marriage counseling, it lets you know what roles did your parents play in their household? What roles do you expect each other to play? And then at the end, what roles are we going to play? So we had to figure out, you think that your childhood doesn't affect, that your upbringing, oh, I'm an adult, I'm over that stuff. No, your childhood definitely affects
Still
your
does.
marriage,
It still
right?
does.
I had a lot of daddy issues or whatever you want to call when I was growing up, I would say. And I felt like, growing up in a single parent household, that made me have the mindset to always be like, well, the hell with you then, And I said that all had to change. And we spoke about all of that throughout our marriage counseling before we got married. And then I realized, like, I cannot have that attitude because all I've seen was single women my whole life, right? From grandmamas to aunties to cousins to mamas to everybody, that I never got to really see what a successful marriage was like, right? Where George, on the other hand, comes from a two-parent household, parents been together forever. That was amazing to me. I wanted that. And
Still
so,
together.
and they're still together, regardless.
And
Everybody has their
then,
problems, but they work that shit out. And I admired that.
and they have their own issues.
I mean, everybody's gonna have issues.
But the marriage counseling part is highly, I would say, highly recommended.
Beneficial.
And the reason why I say that is because we're talking about what makes a relationship strong, and you have to, especially going into a marriage, people might think that the same way that you have the relationship right now is the same way you're gonna be after when you get married. And the thing is, people change when they get married for some damn reason.
No, but people change in general.
Yeah, people change in general.
You're growing.
But the thing is, now you have to wonder, right? Because the thing is, we moved in before we got married, so we lived together before we got married.
The old school people didn't like that.
Grandma didn't like that.
Oh no,
grandma didn't like that, right? But we live in a different time anyway. But the thing,
I'm not telling you guys to follow our steps, okay?
Yeah.
Let's put that out there.
I'm not here to judge or nothing.
No, do what's best for you.
But one of the things was, when we moved in, we was like, there's roles that was happening that I'm like, yo, all right, why you don't do this, or why you don't want to do this? And I'm like, yo,
I'm not married to you. I don't have to do that.
But now when you go through marriage counseling, you understand why certain people don't do certain things. The simplest thing is taking out the trash. Is like, yo, who's responsible? And when he asks, he's like, yo, thank you for what you did, by the way. But the simplest thing is, who takes out the trash was one of the things that you have to bring up in a relationship. And I don't even,
as simple as that is.
I don't ever remember my wife ever take out a trash a day we've been together.
Nope, I don't do trash.
I don't. Day in her life.
No, I take out trash when we were living back in those days in college. You take the trash to the front door, and the valet people come and take the trash. But for me to roll it out there, no, I didn't have to. I have a strong, strapping husband. Right, but he was okay with that. But then it was something we discussed.
But then you have other things, that you have to discuss, as far as who's responsible for cooking, who's responsible for the bills, and it's like, yo, I looked at it like, yo, I've seen a lot of men, especially growing up, because you're gonna have your own way, and you have to look at it as why you have your own way, right? And I grew up in a culture where the men go to work, right? And you could say it's all culture, but I grew up in Jamaica where, the men go to work, and when they go to work, they give all their money to the wife, and the wife pay the bills. And you see that here too, right? But then you have to look at it. I'm like, yo, I don't want to be out on the fucking streets because she forget to pay the bill. I don't want to be out on the streets, or I'm inside my house eating and the lights turn off because she forget to pay the bill.
And I don't want to give him the responsibility to come find out, oh, you didn't pay the mortgage because you plan on leaving my ass and you ain't telling me. I know that happened to some people before, but you want to know.
We do finances together.
Yep.
Right? And a lot of reasons, one of the biggest reasons why people marriage fail is because of finances.
Money.
It's because of money. So we make it in our best interest to know that, yo, that is not going to be the reason why we break up.
It's going to be anything else but that. I'm just trying to say, it could be anything else, but it's not going to be on that. Particular.
So with that, we make sure that we do all of our finances together, right? When we're talking about, communication, we're talking about, all right, what are our goals? What are our dreams? What are we working towards? And we support each other with that, right? So when we're talking even about agreement, right, we may not like certain things, or we may say, well, you know what, I think you'll be best at that. But it's not for me to tell her not to do what she wants to go off of, right? Because I don't want her to live with the regret of not trying something. So in that sense, I'll say, yo, if that's what you want to do, I think you'll be better at this. But if that's what you want to do, great, go ahead and do it, right? So you have to make sure that you're communicating with...
We got some comments coming in. You want to just talk about that real quick?
Go ahead.
All right. Donna, best friend vibes is very important. Satisfying the soul and being comfortable around each other. Also, having the same likes also. I agree. Having that same likes make a difference. See, and that's one thing I would have to say about George and I, is that we like the same things.
Yeah, we do. So I'm gonna talk on this real quick, but I met a girl in college, and I invited her over. Right, I can't forget this, so I just had to talk about it. And I love to cook. That's one of the reasons why she's sitting right here now.
He could cook.
So I love to cook, and I was like, I told her I was going home to cook, and she said, "What are you cooking?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm about to go and cook some brown stew chicken and banana." And she's like, "Banana?" she's like banana. And I'm like, yeah, green banana. And she's like, ew. I'd be like, ew, like what?
She didn't understand the culture. She didn't understand the food.
I grew up on stuff like that, right? So right there, I knew that. All right, I have to cut that. Right there, I know that that's not gonna work because, like, you have to if you see certain things in the beginning.
Oh, the beginning.
Like, do not go ahead and think that that person is gonna change. Yo, you want that person to change. Like, yo, it wasn't anything serious to begin with. So I'm like, yo, I just cut that from even happening, right? A lot of people, what happens is you may like that person for something else and you think that you could change that person.
Don't think you could change nobody, guys. They're going to be the same person.
And then you end up with someone and they be like, yo, why did I end up with this person? Or how did I even get this far? But you saw the signs in the beginning. So as simple as stuff as that, I was like, yo, yeah, you had to go. So having similar interests is gonna be something that
it's a must.
You can rock with.
I feel like,
yo, when I met her, even though she was, American,
listen,
but when I went in the car, it was all reggae music. So
that's what I grew up on, though.
I'm like, okay,
I probably know more lyrics than some of the Jamaicans out here. That's how serious. That's like what I grew up on, and I told myself, when I find somebody, you have to be down with the culture. I mean, you got to know them reggae lyrics. You got to understand soca, because that is what I ask him.
You know the crazy thing is,
that's all I play in the house.
Yo, most of these Jamaicans know more than the real Jamaicans as far as the music.
Well, guess what? I'm not Jamaican.
Right? Our Americans.
It don't matter. You have to
the
eat
Americans
the food.
will know more about the music, meaning that they can sing all the lyrics.
But you know what,
like,
though?
oh,
There's some of them that
I
are
grew up in Jamaica and I
no,
don't know all the lyrics.
No. Some people fake it, right? They go, they listen, they study lyrics, all type of crazy crap. I naturally was born into this. Ask me about my dad. My dad is from Grenada, right? My dad is from Grenada, but that man played nothing but reggae music. When I'm talking about some old school Barris, Maxi Priest,
every Sunday,
every type of music. So I grew up in that culture. There was no fake it. It's like, this is who I am. And when he met that, it was a little different for him. It's like, man, this girl is American, but she know all the lyrics to everything. And you got to be able to eat the type of foods. Because if I'm bringing you to my family is very judgmental. Let me tell y'all about them Trinis, okay? Trinis do not play. They are very judgmental people. And so you have to, like, if they put a plate of food in front of you and you say, ew, this is nasty, I don't want it, they gonna side-eye me. Like, yo, where you bring this one from? And so Sheldon was down, right? He eats sawfish and dumpling. He eat like mad random stuff, but he eat that stuff just like I
grew up on
did growing up.
Her grandma did not like curry goat. She's like, yo, if you cook curry goat in my pot, I'm throwing it away. I'm like, damn.
Hold on. We do got some more comments coming in. Let me make sure that I can get everything on the screen here today. You guys are awesome. I love the comments coming in today. So Julia said, but if you do have differences, you have to be open to understanding what those are and be willing to learn, especially if it's cultural. Absolutely agree.
Yeah, because, like, yo, at the end of the day, you have to be able to grow with each other, right?
Correct.
And I'm not saying that because I'm from Jamaica, that means I want somebody to understand me. Sometimes it's like, yo, you have to, for me, that's what I wanted, right? Yes. I wanted somebody that understand my culture, understand me, that I can be real with, right? For some people, they may have different things. They may want different point of view. They might want to be with whoever they want to be with. So say for instance, they want to go all off into
sometimes people want a baddie, right? But a baddie ain't got no brains.
No brains.
The family don't like the baddie.
It's a sad situation, and I can't deal with that. So again, you have to know what you want, right? And a lot of times when we talk about business, when we talk about growing something, we always say write down what you want, right? In a marriage, in a relationship, you write down what you want. A lot of times, especially for single people, they're just running around and they just be like, yo, I want to till I meet the right one. Well, how the fuck you gonna know it's the right one if you don't write down what you want? How you gonna know if it's the right person unless you say, do you know what you want? They are they athletic because you're athletic, right? So you want somebody
That's
to
in
be
the gym.
athletic that's in the gym with you. Do you want somebody that reads because you love to read? Do you want somebody that you have to know what you want? So my thing is, when I met her, there was qualities in her that I saw that I wanted in a woman, right? So I'm like, yo, all right, cool, and it
Can I put
worked.
you on the spot? What kind of qualities did you want?
For one, all right, so I wanted somebody that understand my culture, meaning that not necessarily from directly from Jamaica, but understand, meaning that they listen to the music.
You was gonna marry a Jamaican woman? Okay, we ain't gonna get onto that, but go ahead. Keep going. What other qualifications? For some reason, Jamaican men don't like to marry Jamaican women. I don't know why. But keep it going.
That. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Oh, yeah?
Don't say that. Don't say that. Right?
We're gonna start an argument today,
yeah,
y'all.
don't say that.
Well, this one. I
had
your reasonings.
I had trust issues with 100% full bond Jamaican woman. Right? I have trust issues when it comes to it.
But you could go ahead and talk about the qualifications.
But the qualifications was that somebody that understand the culture, right? The food, that I could get along with, that has goals, right? Goal oriented. Like when I met her, she was talking about owning her own boutique. When I didn't have nothing apart from shit. I need to graduate from school, right?
I had business plans, everything.
And she had a whole business plan. Now, a couple of the things that I always thought about that I wanted, I visioned in my head, and I used to share it with her. And crazy enough, we accomplished a lot of those that we've set out to do. Mm-hmm. But I just look at it like, yo, she checked off a lot of the boxes, and my parents approved, right? My parents approved. That's one of the things too for me, right? If my mom don't like you, if my dad don't give two shits. As long as it's a female.
Dad is so sweet.
As long as it's a female, he's good, right? But for me, it's like, yo, when my mom meet you and my mom is good with you, all right, that checks off the box, right? Because you have to be able to get along with my mom. Then it comes on to her
Mama's
family.
Boys.
Right? Then it comes on to her family. Can I see myself getting along with the family?
Yes.
Right? And then when I met her family, I'm like, all right, they cool. They loud as shit, but they cool. Right? And then her pops was just like, yo, her pops was real down to her, mellow. And I'm like, yo, all right, this and I saw a lot in her pops.
I took him to my daddy's house.
That I can relate to.
I took him to my daddy's house, and that sold him there, y'all.
I saw that. I kind of saw in a little bit.
Saw some of the qualities in me.
The older version of myself. Should I say that?
Yeah.
Older version of myself, meaning that what I wanted out of life, he was right there doing it, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. And I'm like, yo, I liked her pops and his vibe. Everything was cool. So I got along with the family. I like the family. I love everything about it. So I'm like, all right, cool. I can work with this.
Yeah, you did. You did a great job. And again, like he said, that worked. So what else would you say? Let's talk about like sharing responsibilities, right? In a relationship. I think that makes it strong because I didn't want no lazy man. Okay? Like I understand both of us are working, but I'm not going to come home, cook, clean, take care, give you sex, do this, do that, and come on, like you gotta give, right? You have to give. And so my sign is a Libra. For most of you who don't know, we are the scale. So in order for this to work, we gotta meet me. We gotta even out here. And so he always tells me I found the right one. And I truly believe I did, because my husband, not only like he cooks, he takes care of the kids, he does household things, and he's still the man that I need, right? And he's you're everything.
Oh shit! She give me like bubbles type of shit.
No, because
you get me all
excited.
Yeah.
All right, check me tonight. Anyways,
all right. All right,
Just kidding. No, but seriously, I think sharing responsibilities, stepping up, and showing that person that, I'm here to support you, not just, with just the kids, but even cleaning the house. There are men that I know that do not wash a dish, do not pick up a vacuum, do not do laundry, don't do anything, and leave all of that responsibility to a woman. And that is tough, right?
It is.
Motherhood is hard in its own.
I'll say this, right? Because and you have to understand, I was raised in a different light than. It all depends on what you stem from, your background.
I'm sorry if the video is freezing. I apologize, guys. I am not sure what's going on, so please bear with us. It probably will unfreeze soon. But go ahead.
But the thing is, like for us, we looked at it as no. For me, I grew up with my pops saying, "Yo, all right, you make sure that you can cook, make sure you could clean, make sure you could iron your clothes, make sure you are self-sufficient, because if you're self-sufficient, then you won't depend on a woman to do anything." He was big on, yo, you don't want a woman to poison you or spit in your food, or you go home and because you can't cook, you have to eat burnt rice or bun up food. We call it bun up food, right? Jamaica, right? So for me, it's like, yo, if I come home and I don't like the food that she cooked, then I can cook something that I want to eat.
I hear you.
Right?
But he does cook.
Never had that issue. But it's like, yo, so for me, like I clean, right? Mm-hmm. I cook. I do my laundry. Those are stuff that I used to do before. But now in a relationship, I still do it because I feel like, yo, not because you have to look at it like it's crazy how I see, and people are the way they are because of their environment. But my thing is, it's already tough that somebody may go to work and they have a horrible day. Then they have to pick up the kids from school. Then they have to come home. Yeah. They have to clean. They have to cook. They have to do laundry. And then you want them to spread their legs, and then you want them to listen to all your problems. I'm like, where the fuck do you contribute? Where's your contribution? Yes. A paycheck is not fucking a contribution. She can go out and get the paycheck, and you can stay home and clean and do all the shit. So there has to be somewhere where there's an even distribution of what we do. So it's like when it comes to that, I make sure that I cook. I make sure that I clean. Now, there was a time where I'll say this, right? If they're not working, if the next person is not working and they're home and you go out to work and you come home and then you be like, yo, you have to go cook, you have to go clean, you have to do all that shit, then that's a problem. That's a fucking problem. That's a problem, right? So you have to look at it where you share responsibilities because the next person can become overwhelmed. And when that person become overwhelmed, then they're starting to think, yo, is this person for me or not? Mm-hmm. Right? So you have to look at it like, yo, all right, where do we share responsibilities? What we share responsibilities with? Who gets up and take care of the kids to make sure they go to school? Who cooks dinner tonight, right?
And we share that in our household, and it's beautiful. Because I love that, Some mornings he gets up with the boys, and some mornings I get up with the boys. And we just respect how each other feel at that moment. I just absolutely love that. And so Mary says, absolutely agree. We have Julia that says, yes. Helping to manage household responsibility is important in my marriage. My husband helps with everything, especially the kids. Absolutely. I just feel like that. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. What happened to my screen? I just feel like that is so important. And just having that person there to support you just makes a world of a difference.
It is. It is. So what else you think is important to making a strong relationship?
Admitting when you're wrong.
Right? Are you good at that?
Admitting when I'm wrong, I am. We all can work on that on a daily basis. But I'm the type of person that if you give me some time, if I feel like if you tell me, hey, you're wrong because of this, and that, I'm going to really take that into consideration. I'm going to think about it. Because I'm going to think about it. I'm going to think about it. And if I'm wrong, I'm going to say I'm sorry. And I'm wrong.
So that's the next thing with island people, right?
It's hard for them to say sorry.
Because they don't like to admit when they're wrong, especially parents, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I had a lot of shit that I had to work on because growing up, how I am with my kids,
totally different.
My parents is never like that with me, and that's where you have to look at it and say, yo, where do you draw the line? Where do you become the change in your family generation or your the family dynamics? Where do you break that cycle of saying, yo, all right, enough is enough? I wasn't raised with I hear I love you, right? There's in Jamaica, well, period. My parents never grew up telling me that they love me. Now I know they love me.
People from the islands will understand this part.
But I never heard that, right? So now I hear it, but I had to force it out of them. And I met someone.
It's not to force. You had to just train them to say things.
Yeah. I train them, right? To now when they call, it's a whole different conversation. When we get off the phone, I love you. But, for a long time, it's like that's something that you deal with regardless, right? Because when you see other people, and when I moved here and I saw other people and everything, I love you, ma. I love you just roll off their tongue easy, right? Yeah. It was even, if I'm telling a girl I love them, it's because I want something at that time.
Wow.
I'm being real.
Y'all hear this craziness?
Like that was that, but that didn't come out of my mouth a lot. There's not a lot of women out there that could tell you that.
So when you first told me you love me, did you really love me?
I did, but I remember I fucked up on something, so that's why too.
Yo.
So different conversation. But
I guess he was trying to save the relationship before I left him.
But I did love you, and I do love you absolutely now. But when I had I had a card. I hold on to I love you card until I fucked up. And when I fucked up,
you were young, guys.
I'm like, all right, I call my boy up. I'm like, bro, I don't know, I fucked up bad. So, I got this card, and I know it can work. And I'm like, I throw out I love you card, right? But on the real note, though, it's like when it comes to that, I wasn't raised hearing I love you. So when I had a friend in high school, and I heard her saying that all the time. And she was the first one that looked at me and say that to me. And she was my friend. And she's like, yo, I love you, friend. And I'm like, yo, fuck. Okay. It was weird, right? It was weird hearing that for the first time. Because my parents, who you should hear it from first, never say that. When I talked to my parents about it, they was like, yo, but you know I love you, right? But you know I love you. Meaning, I love you. Yep. If y'all didn't understand what I said, they'll be like, but I love you. Yeah, I know you love me, but yes, you could tell me as well. My two boys, they can't say a day go by where I don't tell them I love them. Correct. Not a damn day that goes by. Every morning they wake up, every night when they go to sleep.
Somebody said, I see it worked. Exactly. Yeah. It did work. So, it didn't, but it did.
so when you look at it, it's like, it just depends on the environment that you grow up in.
So somebody else, Donna said, Caribbean parents don't do this, but it is so much different now. Kids now love to hear this, and their smile is so amazing.
Right, because it's
a different times. It's us changing.
Right, our parents don't know about that because they wasn't raised like that. They don't know about that. But it's us that our age now that are changing what it looks like or what it should look like, right? Because we don't want the same thing. We see how we were raised, and we'd be like, yo, sometimes we're emotionless to shit. So like, yo, we're really emotionless. We have like, yo, some people be like, yo, you have no feelings, but how can I show feelings to something I never even
and this is why I said to everybody, marriage counseling is needed before you say I do, because you have to work out your childhood issues, you have to work out other issues so you can have a successful marriage, and you have to understand what your partner wants from you. Kids before would have loved it too. We just don't know that before because it was never presented to us.
Yeah, it was never.
Correct.
It was never. So it's part of my thing that I say my responsibility is to make sure that my kids know that I love them, that um, I support them, but also my wife. Like I see that, right? Because my dad, like they'll show it in different ways, but sometimes you want to hear it. Because my dad was always at certain things for me, and I always talk about it. My dad was always at my soccer games, right? And that was big for me. My dad was very supportive. My mom was always at work, right? But when she could make it at the games, she make it at the games, right? So those are things that I look at, and I'm like, yo, because I know it worked for me and how I felt, I'm gonna make sure that I do the same thing for my kid, right? Because it's very important. Then I never heard the word "I love you" growing up, so I'm like, shit, I would love to hear that. So if I would love to hear it, let me start with my kids so my kids don't grow up the same way I did. So there's certain things that you have to look at and say, yo,
Mary said it's our mindset. It has to change. She said, I enjoy you too. Telling the truth is love.
yeah, yeah. So it's just like we have to break that cycle. And even now, sometimes I'll tell my pops, like, or my mom, all right, mom, gotta go, love you. I'll
But
talk to
doing
you.
that helps your marriage because now you can tell me that you love me. Like I constantly hear that from him, how much he loves me, how much he appreciates me. And that makes me feel appreciative in my marriage, which makes me turn around and want to do more for him because you're constantly showing me that I'm appreciated.
Yeah.
And if you show me that I'm appreciated, I'm gonna show you that you appreciate it too.
Oh, absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So honestly, I mean, the last thing that I would say is dating each other. Just because you get married, I feel like marriage can sometimes become redundant. Like you're doing the same things constantly over and over and over. But you got to take time for yourself outside of your children
Mm-hmm.
and realize, like, why did I marry this person? Right. And so for us, it's dating each other. George and I are big into that. You guys who follow us, we do a lot of stories. You see behind the scenes, we're always going out. I love to eat. So we're always going out to fun places, places to eat. But when we sit down, we're talking about us, right? And what we want for our marriage and what we want when we get old to sit down on a chair, rocking chair, when we get old and swing outside, watch our grandkids. Like we're planning for the future on our dates. We're appreciating the moments now. We thank God for, my health and that we're even able to travel together and do things. And I love those dates. I look forward to dates because it makes me realize, like, listen, I could get along with you outside of the kids. A lot of marriages cannot sustain after their kids go off to college or whatnot. But I love that about our marriage.
That's a big thing, right?
Someone says, preach.
That's a big thing because I must say this, right? When people have kids, right, and they're in a marriage, they tend to focus everything now on the kid. And what happens with a lot of marriages, or what happens and the reason why I'm talking certain way, guys, because when I used to do car sales, and one of the things is I used to work with a lot of older people, and people used to come in and they'd be married for 60 years. The highest was 70 years. The people were married together. And I'm like, yo, I used to sit down and ask them what makes their relationship so successful. And this is the thing, right? We get mentorship from other places to find out how we could run a successful business, all this stuff. I was trying to find out how I can make my marriage successful. And the things that they were telling me, one of the huge things is like, yo, you got to date each other, right? And by doing that, I was like, all right, why is it so important? Because when you date each other, right? When the kids leave, you still know that you could get along with that person. A lot of people, when they have kids in a marriage, they focus all the attention on the kid. And then when you go out, to the restaurants, your kids is there. When you go out on a vacation, your kids is there. When you do stuff, your kids is always there.
Yep.
So now when the kids leave the damn house, because they will, right? Eventually they will. Now you don't know how to function without them because everything was with the kids, right? So my thing is, I got to leave these damn kids at home because, I want to be able to make sure that I can spend time with my wife whenever I want and still get along. So one of the things is, we go on dates without them. Yes, we have our family time. We have family vacations, but we leave their asses at home when we're going on our vacations.
With grandparents,
right?
obviously.
With grandparents, right? So our son, which is now 11, he's getting jealous because, we're going on trips without him. You stay your ass home. When you get your wife, you're gonna feel the same way, right? But the important part is that
we do take time with them too.
We gotta make sure that we're dating each other on a consistent basis because, why did the relationship work before? Well, I guarantee you is because you're always talking on the phone, giggling, talking for hours. Y'all dating each other a lot, right? Yeah. So you have to keep on doing the same thing, right? So you guys
how you got them is how you got to keep them, right?
Right. So
Donna says, hold on. Let's just give her. She says, never marry someone unless you see a therapist. People have so much inner pain that it needs to be expressed and talked about. I agree. That's just like I said, going to marriage counseling.
That's a good one. But yeah, you got to learn how to date each other regardless. And it could be, it's a sacrifice, right? Some people might say, I got 2 younger kids and we can't get away, because for us, we were fortunate enough to where when we was living in Florida, we had family that could watch our kids. Mm-hmm. But when we moved to Atlanta, then it was different. We didn't have nobody, right? Yeah. We had friends now and then that could come over and watch, but we didn't want to be a burden, right? So at times we have to figure out, all right, how can we make this work? You hire somebody to come in and babysit, right?
Or you date while the kids are in school too. That's an option.
Well, we had a younger baby.
At that time, yeah.
So we're talking about newborn. You see what I'm saying? So even though you have a newborn, you might say, well, I can't go because I have a newborn. Well, your kids are gonna grow up and have a life of their own. Why not? Yes, you love your kid, they're newborn, all that stuff, but you still have to work on your marriage, right? You still have to make sure that you're keeping things in like sticking together. And part of that is, date each other on a
but I think it helps intimacy as well too, right? Because
Absolutely.
if you're like with us, okay, we're at home working, whatnot, and it's like not every day I want to put on makeup, and sometimes I want to be in sweats. Or for people that know me personally, I love a good robe, right? And so not every day I'm going to be all boom, boom, bah, right? And so when you do the date nights, that's when the sexiness comes out, right? You put on them heels, you put on that dress, you smell good, your makeup is done, your hair is fresh, and you go out and your man or your woman is like,
sometimes you don't even want to leave the house. You'd be like, all right, just forget about the date.
No, but you know what I mean? That helps because now you see that person in a light. Without vomit from the kids on you, without your hair in rollers. They get to see the woman or the man dressed up how they met them. And I love that. I love to see my man in a suit.
You put on your best, yo.
Yeah.
You put on your best, yo. It's like, when you going out, you want to go out and you'd be like, all right, we going out. We going out in style, right? So you go out, you have a good vibe, you connect, you talk about certain things, and certain things we don't want to talk about, right? Certain things we just be like, all right, we're not talking about this. But the intimacy part comes out, the smile, the laughs, right? So you could get to have a conversation and be like, damn, we get a relief from the damn kids, right?
Yes.
Love our kids, but leave them at home. So you have to work on that because it's gonna build intimacy. It's gonna be like, all right, I can't wait to get home, take that wig off.
Take that wig off. Oh my gosh. You guys, this man, I'm telling you, he's something special.
Take that wig off,
He's something special.
If you with a black woman, there's certain things like, yo, sometimes you don't even want it because, yo,
Don't touch a black woman's hair.
This is for no. I'm gonna bring that shit up right now, but
this is not. You got people laughing at us.
but it's like, yo, you know, we go out.
You got 1 minute left, George.
And this is for the guys, right? I hope y'all agree with me. Like, yo, you go out with your wife or your significant.
Oh, I know where he's going with this.
They're all dressed up.
I know
they get home, y'all about to throw down, and then they come out, makeup off, hair not there. Be like, what the fuck just happened? Like, yo, you're not the same, you know, look like, yo, you know what I'm saying? So
but
it's like,
let me say this,
like,
right?
Like you want that.
You want that, right? So it takes us time to get make it up, do all of that, and don't get me wrong, there will be times that you'll be fully done. But how I feel is your ass is gonna turn around and go to sleep, and I'm gonna have to go take off all this makeup.
That's part of being a woman.
No, I don't want to deal with that shit.
That's part of being a damn woman.
I want to go to sleep.
It's like, yo, you see this shit? That's all about, you know. That's what I'm saying. Like, our marriage worked because of certain.
Exactly. She said, "Let me put this. Look, do you want it or not? You gonna take it as you get it. You damn right. Good one.
Yeah. So,
do you want it or not?
So it's like, yo,
makeup, wig don't matter. You want it? If you not, go to sleep.
But you know, there's time. You know, we're gonna hit on that another time.
We need to talk about that. We need to have
we're gonna hit on that another time.
Another podcast episode on that.
There's times where, you know, it's just like you don't even need to leave anywhere. Just get makeup on and put on some heels and come out and be like, hey.
And only to wash that off in 2 seconds is how I be feeling. But I know you have to do things to keep that person.
You got to, even if it's, I'll say, yo, it don't have to be anything expensive either, right? Because some people might feel like, yo, I need to take my wife on expensive dates.
No.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Right? Whoever you married is different. My wife, I know that I could take her. I could go to the roti shop, buy a roti for her for $10 and a banana solo, and bring her to the park. You see me? Oh, shit.
But we do things we do things also in the house as well too. We have romantic nights. We'll do certain things. Not all the time do we leave. But we will do all that, light the room with candles and do all that like sweet things, right? Yeah. I like that kind of stuff.
But you got to get out of the house too.
You do.
So that's one of the things I say. You got to date each other because you got to learn how to live without your kids, right? Because your kids are not gonna be in the house all the time. So you want to make sure that your marriage is not centered around your kids. Your relationship is not centered around your kids, because if it is, when they're gone, then what do you focus on?
Good luck. Joy says sometimes you have to keep it sexy and interesting. Most definitely.
I like the word interesting. You see that? Interesting can come with all types of stuff, right? But just keep it spicy. Keep the relationship going, and make sure you just
in today's podcast, you guys got a deep dive into George and I's relationship today. And you know what? But that's what people love. People want realness. They want, you to be authentic. And we love sharing this, right? We love talking about our marriage because it's something beautiful. So do you have any other wise words?
Not really. Just be like, yo, you know what? Here, thanks for watching Impactful Living, where we're here to impact the masses. But I hope whatever we talk about was impactful to you, where you get another insight where you leave better.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys on our next episode of Impactful Living. See you guys next time.
All right. Peace out.
Your eyes tell me that you don't wanna leave just yet. No, my eyes agree. It's almost like when we first met. Oh, I don't care, it's getting too late. I want you and I can't wait. Don't wanna spend a minute without you. I know you feel the same. So come on, give me love. I'ma show you how to move, how to move.